Welcome to First Impact, a weekly podcast where we discuss the 90s anime series Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm Jordan, and with me is my co-host, old Jen. Today we'll be talking about The Day Tokyo 3 Stood Still, originally aired on December 13th, 1995, written by Hideaki Anno and Yōji Enokido, directed by Tatsuya Watanabe. This episode starts with a lot of introduction to, I guess, the day-to-day lives of the NERV personnel.
Yeah, which you haven't seen before. We've seen day-to-day of the kids at school. But the adults have so far been the adults.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, we see them doing their laundry. We see them on the train.
And an unusual group in a way. Two of them being the sort of the personnel who are always on the command center. The bridge of the command center. With Ritsuko, which I thought was the more interesting part, was that I definitely feel that she, to me, has this vibe that, like, even though she'd be personable to a certain degree with the staff, I just don't picture her as being, like, fraternizing with anyone who's not Masato. Yeah. Like, I feel like she's too work-focused. Yeah, right. But you get this scene with her doing the laundry with two of her subordinates, and they all seem pretty, like, casual with her.
She's definitely lightened up in the last little while. Yeah. She was really the sort of yin to Masato's yang right at the start. In the first episode, Masato was, light and cruisy and Ritsuko was lab coat, all business. It sort of flipped a little bit. We're seeing more the other side of each of them.
Yeah, the fleshing out of characters.
Yeah, exactly.
They jump on the train and Fuyutsuki, he does the old commute.
I was surprised when he showed up. Yeah. I thought he would just teleport into work.
He never leaves.
Yeah, well, that's true.
He's stitched to Gendo's side.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's just on the train reading his paper.
Well, yeah, he reveals he's going up town to visit City Hall to communicate with them about what's going on. Right. And we get this idea that basically the local council only exists to execute the plans that the Magi. Yeah,
the supercomputers.
Yeah, so that's they have alluded to them before, but that's Balthazar, Melchior, and...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, the third one. Melchizedek? Does that sound right?
Definitely not.
I need you to...
I don't know.
My swizzle dick.
My swizzle dick. Yeah, okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's another element that was sort of just introduced.
I'll be vindicated in a future episode. No spoilers.
When it is my swizzle dick. Yeah, interesting slice of life.
And also like an interesting look into how the world has been affected by Second Impact and the ongoing war with the Angels, that like they would essentially entrust all decision making to a trio of supercomputers and then just execute their plans. So then we go into a scene with Shinji trying to reach out to his father with a brief phone call where he's very timidly tells him about the career interview.
That was never going to happen.
And don't bother me with this sort of
nonsense. Yeah.
And I have delegated all these responsibilities to Captain Katsuragi. So, pretty classic cold Gendo there.
I don't remember when it was. It was a few episodes ago now. I was wondering when, if ever, they're going to have a rekindling. Just more than that. Just a rekindling. They build a relationship. I can't see it, dude. How is it going to happen? How do you go from I've delegated all these
How do you come back from that?
How do you come back from where they are at now to...
It's funny because
it can't happen, right?
You noted in the previous episodes the sort of lighter tone that's happening at the moment, where it is very much like a episodic Monster of the Week sort of mecha battle show.
And the battles are being used as sort of more vehicles now for the character stuff.
Yeah, but you sort of noted that, and then it's like, well, we really haven't had Shinji worrying about Gendo.
That's true.
Since where he sort of parallels what Gendo did for Rei, and he opens the capsule for her after the fight against Ramiel. Yeah. We haven't really worried too much about Gendo. No. In fact, I think in a lot of episodes he has been away, and someone is either acting as like acting commander, or he's off. Communicating with Seilei and their plans. So we really haven't seen much of him, and this is the first sort of glimpse again that Shinji, I guess, is looking for that relationship.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For the most part, him deciding to live alone and Misato being like, no, you can stay with me. We haven't really seen anything since then.
No, but it's sort of weird what they're doing though, because You're right. We haven't seen a whole lot of Gendo in a while. When we do, though, we see him totally putting down Shinji and rejecting him, right?
Yeah, he's very much still giving him the push away.
Yeah, and yet the way Shinji looks, because there's that moment where Gendo...
Oh, towards the end.
Gendo is manually, pulling and activating the units with his team, and...
he's actually, rolled up his sleeves.
Yeah, he's rolled up his sleeves, and Ritsuko is like, he had faith that you guys would come, So Shinji's looking at his dad like, wow, he's, they're trying to sort of redeem him.
Yeah, he's a guy who gets things done.
Yeah, and so they're putting him sort of in a little positive light, or little positives, little redeeming features of Gendo. And even the last, and they tease that a little bit, even before when they showed the true story of how he saved Rei.
Yes.
With his bare hands, he pulled off that hatch, he got burned by the stuff. We see that little smile. So
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was going to bring up.
Haven't seen a lot of Gendo lately, but when we have, they've teased little redeeming qualities. It's sort of weird. It's bizarre what they're doing. It's very intriguing.
For me, it feels like a justification that if Gendo was portrayed as this completely reprehensible, scum guy who won't talk to his son and all this sort of shit, you'd be like, why the fuck does Shinji want a relationship with this guy? Instead, they have Gendo be quite cold, but almost like his coldness is just from his pragmatism.
Yeah.
That he is so concerned with his mission that, he has that line in a previous episode that's like, if you fail, obviously there'll be major repercussions. And he's like, if we fail, we're all fucking dead. What the fuck's this if you fail business?
Yeah, right.
There is no fail.
Yeah.
Without it being the end of the world.
Okay.
You get this guy who is very much focused on his goals, and because of that, it's turned him into a very cold man who has pushed away his son. Yeah. And we need these sort of moments as an audience to sort of understand
why Shinji
is trying to get back,
or
at the very least why he's trying to create find this relationship with a man who is abandoned him.
Yeah.
And beyond the curiosity of a child wanting to know an estranged parent.
Well, of course, yeah.
They're trying to show why this reprehensible man would still have a child who wants to know him.
Yeah.
Because Shinji has seen the worst sides of Gendo.
Definitely.
And he is now that he works with Nerve, he's seeing these sort of glimmers of I guess glimmers, the man who he is outside of being a father.
Yeah, we're right. Yeah,
which is someone who, he will put his life on the line to rescue.
Yeah, he's on the front line. Yep.
He will get down with the rest of the workers.
Yep.
Yeah. And help manually activate Unit 1 and all the other Evangelions.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought it up, because I think it is an important part of at the very least stringing Shinji's sort of hopes.
Well,
along,
that's
and showing where that hope, where the foundation for that comes from.
Yeah.
Especially that scene where he watches Rei and Gendo have quite a intimate tender, and actual human moment together.
Yep.
And he sees that from the outside.
Yeah.
So the major drive of this episode is the sabotage that occurs at Nerve HQ.
You reckon it was Kaji? I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I think that's where it's leaning. You've got his weird meeting last episode.
Yeah, in the cable car.
And the way he's running to get in that elevator.
Right.
Now, in a way, I look back at that. I'm like, did he try and get into that elevator mainly so that he had an alibi?
Yeah, well, that's what
I've been in this elevator with Masato.
Yeah, how could I have? Blah, blah, blah.
Masato and me have a weird at odds relationship right now. She wouldn't cover me for me if I'm lying.
Yeah, right.
And he now has one, on the surface you get this very you can just read it as, just that typical he's trying to get into an elevator, she's making sure that he can't get in, and he just gets in, and now we have an awkward elevator ride between two old lovers. Or, there's the other implication that he might have been involved in the sabotage.
Well, it's definitely played up that way.
Yeah.
But then again, these riders are tricky. They do things
very sly.
Well, that's the preliminary theory at the moment. I think we're meant to have that it was Kaji.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think there's the
maybe it was the three magi. Maybe it was the three magi.
They sabotage themselves.
Yeah,
they're sick of making decisions for the town hall.
Yeah, they want to evolve past their programming. They want to I don't know, right off into the countryside somewhere.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. What an image. Just 3 giant boxes on horses.
On horseback. Yeah, right. Because the Magi were on horseback.
It's beautiful. Well, you do get a good idea of Asuka's continuing sort of insecurity.
And you're
very
right,
much
it is
like,
insecurity.
I am the leader.
Yeah. But it's got to come from a place of insecurity, right?
Yeah.
I reckon she feels... we've probably talked about this before, but yes, she was the first pilot. Yes, she's, like, in theory, the best because she's trained.
Yep.
But it's all been simulation and training at first.
Yep.
Remember, we ourselves see her first real angel battle, on the water.
Yep.
In the Pacific. So, yeah, that's got to be an insecurity in that regard. She should be the best, but is she really?
Yeah, and you are sort of like also seeing that interaction between her, Rei, and Shinji, and sort of like, I guess the early sort of like dynamics between how that sort of like her unchallenged interactions with Shinji, and now with this idea that like, just in a very like potential sort of like romantic sort of sense, the idea that like Shinji has like a draw to Rei and Rei does nothing.
No, yeah.
And like in a way, like I feel like this is an extension of that scene from the Magma Diver episode where she's like, look at me, Shinji, look at me. And without having to say anything, Shinji's drawn to like Rei. Whatever Rei's doing. And now you're sort of getting that in a like the 3 of them are walking together because Shinji's like, I think the failure of the phones was like related to a mechanical failure, so he's probably gone off and found the others and tried to get them all to go to Nerve HQ to find out what's happening. That's probably the main reason why the 3 of them are walking together in that scene.
Probably.
And they try to get in with their passes. And all the doors are locked down, and then you get this interesting like journey through the underbelly of the Geofront.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We see Rei, even though Asuka wants to be the leader, we see Rei really sort of stepping up.
Yeah, her sort of, I guess, intimate knowledge of Nerve HQ, her studiousness, and her sort of like quiet confidence in what she's doing.
Yeah, quiet confidence, definitely. Yeah, she's quiet, but she's not timid. When it's go time, she knows what she knows.
Don't mistake her quietness for inability.
Yeah, exactly.
You do also get that line with Asuka's like, she views Rei as the favorite. Which I find interesting to look at, like what she finds value in. Like as a person, I think Asuka's sort of value is derived from being needed, or your how important you are to the mission.
What you offer,
And Rei is like a character who, if they're gonna put someone in the line of fire, it's like put Rei. When Asuka says like you're the favorite, Rei like really knows that she's the expendable one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel sorry for Rei. I mean, I'm kind of in Shinji's boat at the moment. One, in that I am
torn by his timidness.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of, wondering what this whole Rei chick's all about, I want to know more as well. So does Shinji.
In addition to seeing the 3 children all together, interacting in a more sort of personable way, I feel this time.
Definitely.
Getting a good look of how
they're getting along.
How they all work in a sort of like scene together. The dynamics between Rei, Shinji, and Asuka.
Right.
This is also the first episode that we see all 3 units launched into a battle together,
which we've been waiting for, right?
Yeah,
and they did well.
Yeah, to see how does this sort of interplay work, and admittedly, the episode gives a sort of significantly shorter amount of time for that battle to play out, with the focus a lot of it being on the sabotage, the 3 of them getting through the facility together without the focus being on a big battle. Just sort of the interplay between the 3 of them. And I guess how the rest of Japan deals with an attack when Nerve is unable to reply.
That's true. We did see a little bit of day-to-day sort of stuff.
Yeah, the SDF is very much like, this has become Nerve's responsibility. If an angel turns up, there's no. Whose job is it now? After what is like 6 successes against angels.
Yeah, right.
If an angel's coming, the SDF is just like, well, This is Nerve's deal.
I think it's sort of more accepted that that's now the case, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the only other time in the episode with Israfel, with the whole dance sequence, when Asuka and Shinji fail the first time, the SDF steps in to drop an N2 mine on it.
That's right.
To which Fuyutsuki's like, well, now they've got to redraw the maps. Have like changed the coastline.
Changed the topology of the landscape. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so SDF has now very much been moved into a support role.
Yeah, they have
as
the planes.
Opposed to how it was at the start.
Yeah. Well, now I've noticed that a lot of the time when the units are activated, they get dropped in by the choppers. Yeah, right? The planes.
Those like stealth bomber.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. It's very much like a more mobilized sort of nerve.
Yeah, right.
Which is very cool. Almost them trying to be a little bit more not as reactive.
That's correct.
Putting themselves on the
that's true. Yeah, because initially the units would just pop up out of the facility.
Yeah, the Angel would practically be in the city before they launched.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so let's talk about this battle.
Yeah, well, this one we have the three of them quickly mobilize to intercept
the
Angel, and it's sort of like holding pattern over the city.
Conjunctivitis attack.
Yeah, it's like dripping acid from its eye down the holes.
That was pretty gross.
Yeah, it's not much to say about it. They implement a quick strategy.
Yeah, and
Asuka shows her unwillingness to be in someone else's debt.
Yeah.
Which is like earlier scene, like she takes the lead. Right. And then they get to a door that requires like a hand crank to open, and it's like she gets Shinji to open it.
Right.
And it's like she takes the lead up until the point where like
she needs to
something that just requires like brute force. It's well, delegate. I guess.
Yeah, it's leadership.
So the Ninth Angel, which they fight in this, old conjunctivitis Joe, is material.
Okay,
and that's a premonition of God.
Premonition of God. Premonition, as in like seeing something before.
Yeah, like your vision.
And it's got a whole bunch of eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like
done. Easy.
It works.
Analyze.
These are all. They all make sense.
Oh yeah, certainly.
They all make sense in a real sort of like once you look up the name.
Oh yeah.
It all clicks.
Right.
So a pretty short but tactical battle against the New Angel.
Yep.
And we see them all working together, which is pretty cool. And definitely showing signs of what's to come. I think once you introduce the sort of 3 Evangelion battle, you can't really step too far back.
Yeah, certainly.
Without feeling like the show's regressing.
It's going to be interesting how they're going to approach the Angel battles from now on, because...
Like bigger scale, sort of.
Well, because at the start, every battle, was... the pilots weren't quite as adept as they are now.
Yep.
Shinji couldn't even take a step forward, remember, when he first started. But now the last couple angel battles haven't been so much about the danger of the angels. They've been more about how the characters are going to work together and dynamics and using them for that purpose. So now that the pilots are sort of can work together, can execute plans, can fend off angels a whole lot easier now, I wonder how they're going to approach it from here on in.
There's also been a lot of like discussing the dangers of man, or at the very least the nature of man, and the fact that Nerve's undoing was not at the hands of an angel, but from internal sabotage.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the episode, once they've beaten the angel, Shinji, Rei, and Asuka are up on the hill and waiting for the city's lights to come back on, and you get like Rei with the little bit of philosophy about the nature of man and our desire to, scrape away at the darkness.
Yeah, right.
Our second episode this week is She Said, Don't Make Others Suffer for Your Personal Hatred. Originally aired on December 20th, 1995, written by Hideaki Anno and Akio Satsukawa, and directed by Hiroyuki Ishido. So this episode starts with Misato's flashback to Second Impact.
Yeah, flashback Second Impact, her father.
We find out a little bit more about her involvement in Second Impact. We sort of see what that looked like, and that bit of a confirmation that it was an angel.
Right.
And in a later conversation between Fuyutsuki and Gendo, they basically say that like Second Impact happened because of man tampering.
Arrogance. Yeah, that's right.
The arrogance to tamper with things that they don't understand.
Right.
Which is born from a conversation about science being man's ability to sort of fight off the sort of dangers of the world, or compete with things that are more powerful.
But yeah, we flew too close to the sun on this occasion, and second impact occurred.
Yeah, so the Katsuragi research team completely killed, but then her father sort of managed to get her to an escape capsule, leave his necklace with her, and she ended up surviving.
Not unlike, it was funny because it sort of reminded me of when Gendo saved Rei from, he pulls her out of the entry plug.
The entry plug.
Yeah.
This one sort of like, you get that imagery of the angel unfurling its sort of like large, well, it's shown to be like a golden wings, and this giant being of light. So in a way, the lies about second impact being a meteorite hitting the ice,
completely
not
false.
Necessarily incorrect in the sense that
that's something did
it did melt the polar ice caps, but it wasn't a meteorite, it was an angel.
A common
and
mistake.
That man had involvement with that.
It
wasn't a natural disaster.
No.
Going on from there, it's a rainy day. Kensuke and Toji have stopped in at Shinji's place to wait out the rain. And Asuka, determined to make everything about her, thinks they're there to peep on her.
Yeah, look, given she's living with Pen for the last few months, wouldn't be surprised. She's sort of got her sex pestery radar on high alert at all times. Yeah,
so Masato, she comes in. Kensuke notices the extra bar on her.
Yeah, he's such a
nerd
for all that sort of thing, isn't he? Yeah.
And congratulates her on her promotion to Major.
That's right.
Major Katsuragi now.
Major Katsuragi. Excuse me.
Going on from that, we've got the part later on, pretty much the scene almost straight after, is the test.
The Harmonix Test.
Where we see that Shinji is rapidly increasing in his sort of sync rate.
8 points in 10 days.
Yep.
Nothing to sniff at.
Nearing Asuka. He's still 50 points away, but his progress is such that he probably will catch up to her.
Right.
And you can tell she's a little bit threatened by that because she's the sort of like hard work to get to this point.
That's right.
And he's just sort of the childhood prodigy.
Yeah, right.
He's the command crew, they remarked that it's almost as if he was born to pilot it.
Yeah, born to be a pilot.
Despite the fact that the last thing he would want to do is pilot it.
Right.
We find out from this that what Gendo and Fuyutsuki are doing in the Antarctic. They're both out of the base.
Yes.
Which is a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, we find out that they've both left NERV.
Yes.
And
so who's in charge?
Masato. She's the ranking officer at this point.
That was a test. I knew who was in charge. I was going to see if you slipped up and said Captain Masato.
Oh, right.
Because how dare you, sir? She's a major now.
I think we'll be on our guard this entire episode and immediately forget the next.
First to stuff up. Major Katsuragi, she's in charge, yeah.
Yep. And
I wonder if it was a test on Gendo and Fuyutsuki's part.
Well, we see that they've gone down to escort the shipment of something.
Maybe not. Maybe it's pretense. Maybe they're just letting,
reckon it's all bullshit.
Well, yeah, we'll see how, the human instrumentality, it's all BS. They just want to see how Masato, deals with the responsibility.
Well, she's shown herself to be extremely capable over the entire series.
Yeah,
the whole thing with Jet Alone, even though there was the NERV funny business there, but the fact that most of the plans that result in the destruction of the angels are hers.
That's true.
The dance routine.
Well, I could have come up with that. To be fair, all my solution to any problem usually involves dance.
Yeah, the sniping Ramiel. They're all her plans.
Yeah, that's true.
With the exception being last episode where the kids had to devise a plan to take down material via the shaft that it was dripping the ooze down.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Masato she's got these sort of crazy 0.0009% chance plans that just so crazy they work.
It's crazy, it just might work. Yeah, right. No, that's true. It's a good point. She is always the one to come up with the plans.
But while the bosses are away,
angels will play.
We've really sort of seen... I think we're just seeing the fact that Masato is the one who comes up with the plans. Even if Fuyutsuki and Ikari aren't there, who the hell cares?
Yeah, it's true.
She's got this covered. But though she does get to sort of swing her new promotion around at Ritsuko when she sort of challenges her about the plan.
Right.
She's like, well, I'm the commanding officer, so shut up.
Jeez.
brings the kids in,
yeah,
offers them a steak dinner in return for saving the day.
Yeah, right.
They issue a mass evacuation of the surrounding areas.
Yeah, which they can just do, right? We've seen
the beauty of building a city as a fortress.
Yeah, right. We've seen that nerve.
Everybody get the fuck out.
Yeah, all right. I wonder, we've spoken sort of before, but yeah, living in Tokyo 3, you just got to be aware that...
You've got a bag ready to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you probably do, actually. You probably have like 2 of everything. You've got a travel version of everything.
Yeah. You know, like...
Travel toothbrush. Yeah.
Sort of like areas on the West Coast, how they're like prone to earthquakes, and you're sort of like...
Right.
An earthquake prevention kit is... Prevention.
Yeah. Oh my God, $1 million idea. They have those now?
A earthquake sort of like kit,
right,
to help you in the event of an earthquake is pretty common, or at least is suggested. Yeah, same as like bushfire regions.
Yeah,
you know,
and
you would have your little travel bag ready.
Yeah, they talk about, you know, everyone's got that, or everyone's already got their own like evacuation, you know, locations. Everyone probably has their favorite child, you know, already selected, and you know,
so ready to go.
Yeah, they don't have to worry
in case of cross-like explosion.
Right,
take this child.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you know, look, if you know, the worst happens and an angel attacks, and you know, you don't want to be saying, okay, well, who do I like, my son, my daughter, who's gonna, you know what. You know,
parents have their favorites.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you already have that locked in, because in a moment of weakness, you might have second thoughts. But no, you got to go, okay, oh, Jenny's my favorite. I will take him.
Sometimes a parent has such a clear favorite that it's not even their own child.
Right.
It's Ray.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, right. Gendo. Yeah. You reckon Gendo would save Ray in an earthquake scenario?
At this point in the series, yeah.
Wow, that's
maybe not. Shinji has more use to him.
That's what I mean. And Gendo is all star. And Gendo is all about practicality.
Practicality. Yep.
Maybe that's what these Harmonix tests are all about. You know,
slowly inching towards Shinji being number one.
Well, it's so Gendo, who's a very sort of rational, you know, calculating man. Gendo has a clear-cut statistical backup, you know, like reasoning.
Yeah.
For which kid he would save in a
it's all
scenario.
in the names. Unit 1,
right?
Because it's number 1,
right?
Unit 0, because it doesn't matter.
No, right.
And Unit 2, because you know,
it's what
second.
Yeah, second banana.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I don't think any of that's true, but it could be.
So we've alluded to the angel that attacks in this, but we haven't sort of really talked about its method of attack.
Yeah,
it's a space-based one.
Yeah, space-based.
That's got like a big eye in the center.
Yeah.
And it's dropping portions of itself.
Right.
In an attempt to sort of calculate where the optimal sort of like position to drop the entire body is.
It was interesting, wasn't it? It was doing like little pot shots, like little it was learning.
And in doing so, creating a few little lakes as it goes.
Yeah. Just nice bit of
terraforming.
I was about to say urban planning. Yeah, terraforming. Yeah. I don't think urban planning extends to lake production. Terraforming is the better word.
In these days.
Yeah, right.
You know, you want to build a new settlement, you got to like landscape.
Yeah.
Put a lake there.
Yeah.
The school will go over there.
Not in the lake.
Not in the lake.
No, okay.
Beside the lake.
But yeah, it was cool, because I don't think we've seen this before, where an angel sort of shows almost like a human quality. In that it was learning. It had like that tactical sort of nous, as in, you know, it didn't just hell for leather, just drop. You know,
it didn't just go all in.
No, it really.
Well, what if I told you this angel's name is Sahakwill?
I would say, what the hell does that mean?
The ingenuity of God.
Oh.
The angel of the sky.
Right. Well, angel of the sky is obvious, but yeah, the ingenuity, right? Because it's learning, it's making calculations.
Got this clever form of attack,
right?
Which is that it drops, it works out its aiming
calibrating,
via dropping a few pieces until it's like bang on target, and then it will use its entire body as like I forget what the yield they describe it as, but it's like quite a few N2 mines.
Yeah, right.
Was it 9 N2 mines? Maybe even more.
Something like
but
that.
Enough that it could essentially completely destroy the geofront.
Right.
in one drop.
Yeah, no matter where in that zone it did.
Yeah,
it.
as long as it hits somewhere in Tokyo 3, it'll blow everything to hell.
Yeah.
So this is essentially where Masato's plan comes in, that they're going to catch it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just put a net out.
Yeah, it's funny that her plan, Masato's plan, is to catch it, and everyone like reacts incredulously, like that. We're just gonna catch it, and
myself
she's like,
included.
Yep. And the placement of the 3 Evangelions will be based off my women's intuition. And everyone again incredulous, like they can't believe these sorts of things she's saying. It's like, this is Masato, ye of little faith.
Yeah, right.
Every plan that she's come up with has succeeded.
Yeah.
Trust.
But would there be an element of, and maybe I would be thinking the same, yes, good old Masato, she's always coming up with the plans and she always delivers. But maybe in the back of their minds, they're thinking, okay, look, yeah, it's Masato, but she just got promoted. Gendo and Futsuki are away. Power does things to people. Or responsibility, Maybe she's like, not thinking this through. Maybe
but she runs everything by Pen first.
Oh,
so
he's right. Okay.
She's able to keep a level head because like Pen is always nipping at her heels and like knocking her down a notch.
Yes, he's her grounding.
Yeah, so they're all going to have a steak dinner.
Yep.
None of the kids are impressed by that. The second Impact generation
would
is stingy.
Would you save the world for a steak dinner?
I mean, I would.
Yeah, I probably
would. Mostly because
I
would save the world, and the steak dinner would be like a plus.
Yeah, right.
If I was successful.
Who are these fucking kids?
But they're going to do it anyway. The steak dinner is like, they're not really fussed about that.
Yeah.
Ray won't go because she's a vegetarian.
Doesn't eat meat. No.
So
it's interesting.
Asuka cracks out that little tourist guide.
Which she
just
has.
A good place.
Yeah, right.
She's just got it on.
Oh, actually, no. I say that in irony, but she's a tourist.
Moved.
Yeah, right.
She's recently moved.
Fair enough.
It would make sense that she probably wants to know the places to go in Tokyo 3. I'm just surprised that there's a tourism department advertising
at Tokyo 3.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, don't come here.
Yeah, right.
It's a science facility.
No, that's the. Science facility, but also prone to angel attacks every other day. But
so we need new people.
Well, no, maybe that's the angle. Tokyo 3, see it before it...
see it before it's gone.
See it before it's razed to the ground. Interesting that Rei, because I think this is the only time that we one of the few times we sort of see Rei give, like a...
Not just a little bit of personality, but like a principle.
Yeah. I don't know, mate.
Yeah.
Which you assume...
That she's not backing down on.
Yes, right. I wonder where that comes from. I mean, yeah, we see little, outbursts from her, when she slapped Shinji in the face for
bad-mouthing
Gendi. But yeah, this was like, she doesn't need to have this stance, and yeah, no, I don't eat meat.
The battle itself, not really a battle. More of like they play a really dangerous game of catch.
The steak dinner was longer than the battle.
Yeah, though Masato does say the children are the safest.
Yeah,
because the AT fields will protect them.
Yes.
Like if this angel hits the ground, everyone's dead, the kids are fine.
Yeah, right.
So they're in the best place to be, even when they put themselves in the firing line. You get this like cool sort of sequence where the 3 Avas are spread out in the sort of optimal placement.
Yep.
And they each sort of, once the angel starts dropping, they start racing to where they believe it's going to drop, which they have to judge off their own sort of like eyes, seeing where it's falling. Shinji gets there first.
Yep.
Very cool sequences, like showing the scale of Evangelion in a way that, like, you see it usually in battles against buildings and things like that. But like the foot jumping, hitting the road, and just like road explodes. It's like someone's got to fix that now.
Yeah, right. I know.
Jumping power lines and stuff like that. Very cool, like sense of mobility from them.
Yeah,
like that. This is not a slow lumbering sort of mecha design. No. This is a fast.
Yeah, right.
Like it's. You can feel that sort of agility, that weight shifting around.
Yeah.
Just like
sinews rippling.
Yeah, you get the sort of calves.
You and calves again. All right, Toji, relax.
Toji's had an effect on me.
What's going on at the end of the desk? We sit at a desk when we do this. So, you know.
The mystique, old Jen, the mystique.
Sorry,
I tell them all we're in a cupboard.
Yeah, right. No, we sit atop a mountain.
We're like Harry Potter. We're the Harry Potters of podcasting. We're under a staircase.
Harry podcast.
When someone walks above us, all the dust hits us on the heads.
Right, yeah.
These mics are filthy.
So you carve, man. All right.
Yeah, Shinji gets there first, catches it, takes the weight. Rei, with a little bit of redundancy, telling Asuka to activate her AT field.
Yeah, right.
They both get there, lend their sort of like extra force to it. They start to repel it.
Yep.
Rei cuts the AT
Rei.
field.
Yes, it's Rei.
So
yes,
Rei does the
right.
cutting,
right,
and then Asuka does the stabbing.
Right.
Which sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
Rei does the cutting, Asuka does the stabbing.
Well, yeah, Rei does the...
Shinji does the screaming.
Rei is like, does the busy work.
Yeah.
You know, the thankless task. You know, the setup for then Asuka to do the big grandiose... Finishing blow. Meanwhile, Shinji does the
heavy lifting.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So Akio collapses down on him.
Right.
Successfully.
It's like a parachute. It was like a parachute sort of.
Yeah.
You know, sagging to the ground.
It's gone from like all that sort of energy from the fall.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of like lifts up and then falls gracefully.
Yeah.
Does that classic sort of angel, tries to wrap itself around him. Like, I'm going to take you with me
yeah,
business.
Right.
And which they do address later on when Gendo calls and congratulates Shinji. But Masato takes responsibility for damaging Unit 1. It's like, that's what it's for.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Also, it's been far worse. Like, it had its face mask blown off in
that's right.
the third episode.
Yeah.
Where they fight Shamshell.
That's right.
You see it being lifted by the crane.
Yeah.
That might even be episode 1 as well.
Who cares? Let's talk about...
Unit 1's had a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah. So was the pilot, dude.
Yeah.
So was the pilot. You quickly mentioned there Gendo congratulating Shinji.
Yeah. Well, that ties into one of the sort of questions of the episode is like, why do you pilot? Why do you do this? Shinji asks Masato why she fights the angels, why she joined Nerve.
Yep.
And she reveals that it's like sort of she had a bad relationship with her father, and she sort of fights the angels, sort of like to get revenge on them because they killed her father, and sort of left her with these confusing feelings about him. She hated him for so long, but then he saved her.
Yeah, now she sort of hates him for putting that sort of seed of doubt or guilt.
Yeah, she's got this sort of complicated relationship with his ghost, essentially.
Yes, it's easy. Yeah, and you're right. And also Shinji, throughout the episode, is sort of asking Masato, your promotion, does that make you happy? Is that why you do this?
What are you supposed to get from these achievements?
Yes, because you're right. Because he's probably struggling with his own motivations for piloting.
Yeah, well, he just does it.
Yeah.
No one ever told me to stop.
Well, yes, he says that, but he probably... is finding that he wants to do it more, but can't articulate that yet.
Yeah, well, he is searching for a reason.
Yeah,
which like realizing that is like important to sort of like continuing something.
Because I think that he can, just like we can, sense that he's sort of coming into this pilot role more. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an episode of like great progress for him in terms of like he's getting better at syncing.
Yep.
He takes the lead on this operation.
Yep.
Like he has a knack for this.
Yeah,
but he has no reason within himself yet.
Yeah, and in true Neon Genesis Evangelion form, the battle is like a vehicle or a way to explore that. Because like we sort of alluded to, the battle itself, was sort of pretty straightforward. Like executed perfectly.
Yeah, they just
very easy. Yeah, it was pretty simple.
Killed itself.
Yeah, right. And so it wasn't about the battle itself. It was about all the lead up and background to that.
Yeah, Shinji also asks Asuka and Rei when they're getting the lift up to the units.
Yes, that's right.
Like, why do you pilot? Rei's sort of like, just do it because I'm told.
Yeah.
And Asuka's like that it's basically to show that she exists.
Right.
That it's essentially she's not really doing it for praise. She's doing it as like a this is me.
Yeah, right.
Sort of thing. And at the end, when they're sort of having their celebratory dinner, which is ramen, so that Rei will come.
Yes, right.
And also so that Masato's bank account doesn't take a disastrous hit. They sit there and Shinji says about his father congratulating him that he thinks
maybe that's why I do it.
Yeah, like that was nice, and I like maybe I do it for the sort of like validation of others, and then Asuka pops her head in. She was listening to
you
the
really
whole
are
thing.
An idiot.
You're a fucking idiot, Shinji.
Yeah.
Because she really does do it for herself.
I think, yes, that's...
Like, that it's like
I was about to call her up on hypocrisy, but no, you're right, it is different.
It's not seeking validation, it's like showing like, this is me.
Yeah, right. Oh, is that enlightened? Is it
Shinji
shallow?
wants a nod of approval.
From someone
Asuka
else.
wants to tell you, like, no, this is who I am.
How much more approval, validation, whatever you want to call it, do you expect Shinji will get from Gendo?
From Gendo?
Is this a turning point, you think?
It's hard to say. He's like, he has those glimmers where he's like, oh, there's a guy under all of this.
Yeah, right.
He's not just a pair of shiny glasses.
No.
He's, like a man who will roll up his sleeves and get to work
we saw that
when people need it. Like he'll acknowledge people's achievements when he has to. And then other times he's just incredibly cold to Shinji in a way that's just like, you got to give that kid something.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what if we get more from Gendo in that regard. I would suspect maybe.
You want to hope?
Do I want to see it, or do I feel that sort of maybe it's unhealthy for Shinji to want so much his dad's approval, affection? Maybe he needs a bit more of Asuka, where doing it for himself is enough. I don't know. You got to. I
think it's a little bit of both.
It's got to be a bit of both.
Going your life with like a father figure who is like half in your life, half out of your life.
Right.
And like an acknowledgement.
Right.
An acknowledgement at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Gendo doesn't have to suddenly be Father of the Year. Shinji would be far better, like in a way.
Yeah.
Just probably finding confidence in himself.
Right.
But like at the very least, an acknowledgement of Shinji as a person beyond a tool that you use.
Yeah.
Is what he needs.
Also, talk about acknowledgement. Would be nice to, hey dad, praise me every once in a while, say I did good once in a while. Also, did you kill my mum?
Yeah.
You'd probably want to... Yeah, exactly. You'd probably want to get your head around that as well.
Well, that'll just about do us for this week. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at It's Got Stealth. And as for old Jen...
Call me the little porkies at the bottom of Shinji's ramen, dude. I'm below the surface. You can't see me.
Thanks for listening.